Then the next book comes along. It takes all of these concepts and wraps it up in a really scary title. One that I would rarely would say this is deserved.
Wow.
The Chaos Machine, the inside story of how social media rewired our minds and our world by Max Fisher. And I got to tell you, it's a fantastic book. I actually read this book cover to cover
Mm-hmm.
a long time ago. I think probably 2022 when it first came out. The Chaos Machine, journalist Max Fisher investigates how social media platforms have reshaped human behavior, politics, and society, often for the worse. He argues that tech companies, especially Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, prioritize engagement over ethics, leading to the spread of misinformation, polarization, and radicalization. Through in-depth research and in-depth research and insider accounts, Fisher explores, and exposes hidden algorithms driving online extremism and their real-world consequences. So what social media has done is it finds the dopamine. So platforms exploit dopamine-driven feedback loops, likes, shares, comments to keep users engaged. That's why those are there.
Mm-hmm.
They're all trying to trigger dopamine. You think you really need to be in the app to upload your video and you upload it and keep it open? No, that's just a way of keeping you in the app.
Right.
Do you think they need to hit you with all those alerts all the time?
Do you
No.
think they need to share on the screen how many times this has been shared? Like, why? Why does it need to Why does it need to show that?
Because it wants to encourage you to share.
Yeah, it wants to show. Like, you should also share this.
Of course, the one thing this does unequivocally, data backs this up, and all the books that we just talked about earlier, this amplifies outrage. It taps into tribalism, and it's clearly addictive. It rewires the way we think and interact with one another because you're tapping into that type 1 emotional, visceral, quick response much faster, and you're at an increasing cadence. It's not just I saw an idea. It's I saw an idea. I saw an idea. I saw an idea. Reinforce the idea. Reinforce the idea. Reinforce the idea. By the time you get to type 2, you're so mentally reinforced from that type 1 quick responsiveness that there is no logical process that goes into it. You have now been convinced because the algorithm has triggered your brain to think that way. The algorithmic amplification of extremism. YouTube's recommendation algorithm nudges users towards increasingly extreme content. This is data-driven. That is not speculation. Okay? Facebook's engagement-based ranking rewards polarizing and divisive posts. Misinformation spreads faster than truth because it's more emotionally engaging. If you spread misinformation, it triggers the emotional knee-jerk response of somebody either agreeing with you because you've confirmed their confirmation bias or you've pissed somebody off by going against their confirmation bias. And because it's so polarizing, it gets shared, it gets liked, it gets commented on.
Yep.
And the algorithm returns that priority.
Which is arguably even more engaging.
Yeah.
Yeah, when something is wrong and noticeably wrong, right? It almost makes people want to engage more. People like to prove. Just look no further than the comment section.
And I do this all the time. I go right to the comment section with a bag of popcorn, and I read through going, ho, 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 man, because that's what you do.
It's one of my favorite pastimes.
It's the greatest.
It's the greatest.
Yeah,
I live in comment sections.
Yeah. It's
just reading. Just reading.
Well, social media played an interesting role in political radicalization the last couple of years. Fisher examines how platforms fueled far-right extremism, conspiracy theories, QAnon, for example, and political violence. Examples include the Rohingya genocide in Myanmar, where Facebook amplified hate speech, the rise of authoritarianism, big word, as leaders exploit digital tools for propaganda. Tech companies knew, of course, all of this, and they ignored the consequences, just like McDonald's did about their food.
Right.
Internal documents reveal that Facebook and Google researchers reportedly warned executives about the harms of their algorithms. Profit motives, of course, and fear of losing market share led companies to suppress or ignore calls for reform.
I think I want to say Chamath spoke about this recently.
You did not too long ago. But the interesting thing is if you're somebody who wants reform, right, and you want your message heard, you have to use the same platforms that are likely to suppress your method to get your message out there. And the only way to get it to go viral is to be inflammatory, to be stigmatizing, to trigger the fear, because people fear way more than they want to win.
Right.
Like we talked about earlier in the show.
Yeah, we've noticed it before on our own content, right? Unless you came out with a, definitive claim and you said it, you you said it with your chest and you believed in it. You
Yeah.
can't just come out here with some basic comment. It's not gonna get shared. It's not gonna get liked.
Nope.
You gotta tell people really what you believe is going to happen.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
And it's a problem. So can social media be fixed? Well, Fisher explores potential reforms such as stricter regulation on our algorithmic amplification. I don't see that happening.
Probably not happening.
Stronger content moderation to limit harmful speech. Don't see that happening.
I feel like their engineers are better than their engineers.
Yeah. Somebody's going to win this argument, and it ain't the guy in the public service sector.
Right.
Transparency on how platforms rank and promote content. Yeah, that's definitely not going to happen.
It's too late, bro.
Yeah.
It's way too late.
This has been happening since way before social media, on the news, celebrity stars. I mean, different celebrities have had entire careers because of political allegiances and things that other celebrities had done.
Mm-hmm.
And that's absolutely the way it works.
Yeah.
Okay, like it or not.
Well,
Rick James is a great example. Rick James walked into an office from a famous A&R label. There's a great story about this. And he basically popped off at the mouth. He was high. He was like on cocaine. He was demanding his money. And he basically made an inflammatory gesture towards this high-level record producer.
Uh-huh.
And he got on the phone and said, put all of our money and promotion into Lionel Richie. Rick James is out. And that's how Lionel Richie's career took off.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at
True
that.
story. These things happen all the time, well before social media.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm here giving you real life examples that you can relate to.
Yeah, you could also, I mean, it's not apples to apples, but look no further than when Leonardo DiCaprio back in the day will come up and accept an award, and he liked to talk about the environment.
Yeah.
Leo, bro, this is not who you are.
The narrative is all that matters, Saied.
You take private jets, bro.
Listen, I take private jets so I can spread the word. Okay?
But I care about the environment.
I do care about the environment, and I wish I didn't have to take these private jets.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I have to come talk to you, and you're everywhere.
Yeah.
So this is on you, people.
Leo, pick a better cause, bro.
You don't care.
Yeah, you don't care.
Yeah. Why it matters. The Chaos Machine shows how social media doesn't just reflect society, it actively is shaping it currently, including the economic information that we get on the show and we talk about all the time. It's being shaped in dangerous ways, frankly. It's a wake-up call for governments, tech leaders, and users to recognize and challenge the digital systems that manipulate our thinking. Of course, there are ramifications for this. Once again, by Jonathan Haidt, The Anxious Generation, How the Great Rewiring of Childhood is Causing an Epidemic of Mental Illness. So this isn't just Chris and Saied mouthing off because we're old guys, although we are.
Yeah, we're old guys now.
Yeah.
We're officially there.
In The Anxious Generation, which came out just last year. Shut up. Social psychologist Jonathan Haidt examines the alarming rise in mental health issues among adolescents since the early 2010s. He attributes this trend to two primary factors: the discipline of play-based childhood.
The decline. Sorry. You said the discipline.
Did you just correct me?
Sorry. I mean, it was an important. You said he attributes it to two key factors.
The decline of play-based childhood. Saied was correct.
The discipline.
Disrespectful. And the rise of smartphone-centric lifestyles. Haidt argues that these shifts have fundamentally rewired childhood, leading to increased rates of anxiety, depression, and other mental health challenges.
I mean, I don't even remember at what age I learned what anxiety was. Now you got kids in grade school talking about it.
Yeah.
Literally saying, I think I have anxiety. That's why I was so against my kids watching the second I think it was Inside Out. Is that the popular movie where right? I was like, I know that one of the characters I had heard one of the characters was anxiety.
Yep.
Right? And I'm like, I don't even want to introduce this to them. I don't want them to even like okay, it's okay to be nervous. Just talk to me. We can always talk about our feelings. I don't want to implement like, you have anxiety. This is anxiety.
It's a real thing, man. And I've heard a lot of younger people, more so now than ever, talk about these things and say that they're talking to therapists and stuff. And on one hand, I'm like, okay, it's good. They're open
It could
to
be very healthy, yeah.
On the other hand, I'm like, man, like, what do you have to be anxious about, though?
Yeah, I remember growing up for me. I mean, I didn't know the difference between a therapist and a psychologist, right?
Yeah.
And you think to yourself, okay, this is very healthy from people that I do know that have talked very positively about therapy. Is they say it's better to start it before you need it.
Yeah.
Right? You don't want it's like you don't want to go to the doctor when the problem is already too large to fix.
I've seen a therapist a number of times in my life, not necessarily for a specific problem, just because I felt like I was a safer place to talk about things from a work perspective, from a personal life perspective.
Wow.
And I didn't want to tap into friends because friends will tend to gossip. So I was like, you know what? I'll just pay somebody and have a professional relationship where I don't have to worry about anything getting out.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's me.
So do you still have that?
It's been a while. It's been a couple years.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm.
The problem is it's hard to go routinely to talk to somebody when you don't have an underlying problem. And
But then maybe what if you don't know that you have a problem? What if there is a problem that
like
you
I'm a
don't know about?
narcissist is what you're trying to say?
Yeah. Not that, but maybe.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, I get it. Like social anxiety
Or,
disorder.
or yeah, I mean, there could be things going on subconsciously that you have no idea about.
No, I like those thoughts.
Those are the ones. Those are your favorite
Those
ones.
are the ones I don't talk to anybody about. But yeah, I love those. Side, I'm thinking about them right now.
You think about them right now.
All right, we're deep into the show, so let's go ahead and wrap through this real quick.
Why does this all matter, Christopher?
You want to go right down to that, huh?
Oh no, just saying in general.
I mean, I had like more topics.
Yeah, one more topics.
Okay.
Why it all matters.
Historically, children engaged in unsupervised outdoor play. This fostered resilience, social skills, and independence. Starting in the 1980s, heightened safety concerns led to overprotective parenting, reducing opportunities for free play. This overprotection deprived children of essential experiences needed to develop coping mechanisms and emotional strength.
Yeah, that was a key topic, I believe, in the book "Coddling of the American Mind." I believe.
Yeah, that's it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that they talk, and it's not the same anymore. Like you can't just let your kid go outside and play unless the entire community is bought into this. Right.
Yep. There's a rise of phone-based childhood experiences. Starting in 2010, a surge of smartphones and social media use among adolescents increased screen time, replaced face-to-face interactions, and leading to social isolation for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Exposure to curated online personas and cyberbullying contributed to negative self-perception and heightened anxiety. Keep in mind, this could be done 24/7, not just when a kid was at school in front of his friends.
Mm-hmm.
There was a mental health crisis which developed from this. Data indicates that similar and significant uptick in adolescent mental health issues, including higher rates of depression and anxiety, including substances and instances of self-harm and suicide.
Wow.
So lots of uses of chemicals there, not to mention self-damage. The trends are observed across various developed countries, suggesting the widespread phenomenon is not located to where we are as Americans. It's located all over the world where phones are. There's 4 foundational harms of social media: social deprivation, reducing in-person interactions and hindering development of essential social skills; sleep deprivation, late night screen use disrupts sleep patterns, affecting mental health and physical health; attention fragmentation, constant notification and multitasking impair concentration and cognitive development, basically forcing you into the type 1 perspective, not allowing you to get into the type 2 perspective.
Do you do that? Do you when you get in bed at night? Are you still on your phone?
I will use my phone occasionally, not every night. I will only read news. I will not scroll social media.
Mm.
So I feel like reading still has some values. I have all the.
How much downtime do you have to read the things that you want to read? And right, I mean,
it's rare, man.
Yeah,
it's very rare.
So you have to pick your poison almost.
Most nights I'm just so exhausted that I'm just going straight to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
My wife will stay up and scroll.
Yeah,
that's her thing.
We go through cycles where literally I have to charge it inside the drawer, start